Here's 5 more overlooked movies that need a Blu-ray restoration. Habitat. Habitat's a 1997 sci-fi movie from director Renee Daalder. The movie takes place in the future where the ozone layer is almost depleted. A brilliant molecular biologist is obsessed with saving the world, so he moves with his family out to the middle of the desert to try and build something that'll fix it. Things go horribly wrong, of course, and his entire house becomes this dangerous biosphere that kills anyone who tries to enter. If you're a threat, the house turns you into fertilizer. While the movie does revolve around the house, a good chunk of the film focuses on the son Andreas and his new love interest. The movie then becomes a little bit of a teen drama, with Andreas getting bullied and using his eco powers as a defense shield. The movie was originally called Ecophoria. Filming was supposed to start in 1992, but it was delayed until 1995. Due to a variety of problems, it wasn't officially released until 1997. It was supposed to go to theaters, but due to the delays, it ended up going direct-to-video and later the Sci-Fi Channel. The movie was also written by Daalder, who was born in North Holland but moved to LA. In 1969, he directed his first film, The White Slave, with Jan de Bont as the cinematographer. This was the most expensive Dutch film ever made at the time. Daalder was a protege of legendary exploitation director Russ Meyer, and he went off to direct films like Massacre at Central High and Population 1. While working on Habitat, he wanted something to make the film stand out visually. Apparently, he made a deal with Sony, who gifted him their new analog high-definition cameras and equipment. The footage was then transferred to film for its distribution. The movie starred Alice Krige as Clarissa. The delays helped the movie slightly because Habitat ended up coming out less than a year after the hugely successful Star Trek First Contact, where she played the Borg Queen. The movie also stars Checky Cario as the brilliant biologist Hank and his son Andres, played by Balthazar Getty. The tagline for the film is "Welcome to a Living Hell." All the things in Habitat have come alive, and it's like a twisted version of the rainforest. It's a very colorful film, which makes it vibrant and horrifying. While the movie did get a DVD release, it's limited by the resolution. If this was restored to Blu-ray, all the colors of the Habitat would pop so much greater, and it would make the film look spectacular. Okay, some of the mid-90s CG is a little off, but overall, it's a neat-looking film that would look even better with a full upgrade. The movie is not available for streaming, and it's on YouTube in glorious 240p, so it looks pretty awful and doesn't do the film justice. The DVD is out of print, and it's not cheap. Disorderlies. Disorderlies is a 1987 comedy from director Michael Schultz. 3 incompetent orderlies are hired to take care of Albert Dennison. He's a rich old man, not in the best of health, and his nephew needs him to die so he can use his inheritance to pay off his gambling debts. He hires the orderlies in the hopes that they screw up and kill the old man. So the 3 orderlies do all sorts of goofy things, but they end up saving Albert instead. In the end, they of course befriend the old man and foil Winslow's evil plan. I'm not going to act like this is some great film. It's not. It's downright stupid. However, it's stupid funny. It's something that just screams 80s. The movie plays out like a black version of the Three Stooges. The orderlies are played by the Fat Boys, who were a popular rap group back in the 80s. They were the guys who did Are You Ready for Freddy for A Nightmare on Elm Street 4. They were also featured in the 1985 film Crush Groove. The Fat Boys were funny and likable. I saw this as a kid and thought they were great, and now that I'm an adult, I'm still laughing at their antics. They also provided a few songs for the soundtrack, which should come as no surprise. Expect lots of beatboxing. I'm not complaining. The movie is so full of slapstick humor that, like I said, it feels like a Three Stooges script that they changed to make it for the Fat Boys. The movie was released on DVD and it's still in print. It's not available for streaming, but you can rent it video on demand. It's on YouTube free with ads. Kung Pao, Enter the Fist. Kung Pao is a 2002 comedy from director Steve Oedekerk. The movie is brilliant in its idiocy, and I mean that as a compliment. Oedekerk took the 1976 film Tiger and Crane Fists, rewrote it, reshot tons of new scenes, and had all sorts of new footage digitally inserted with the original footage. The end result is an absolutely ridiculous kung fu parody that almost feels like a lost 70s film, with the exception of the Matrix parody CG cow fight. The movie's about the Chosen One. He's a guy traveling from town to town to try to find the man who killed his family. It's your basic kung fu story, but littered with all sorts of hilarious moments. The best is the love interest Ling.
Now go!
Odenkirk redubbed all the lines in the film, with the exception of Jennifer Tung, who dubbed her own voice. They did a terrific job of mixing in the new footage with the old footage, and really, there's only a few times where you can tell the difference. I mean, obviously, whenever Odenkirk is in there, it's new, but I'm saying they did a great job of matching up the film grain and making the whole thing look authentic. I'm sure it wasn't easy to do. It reminds me of What's Up, Tiger Lily, where Woody Allen did pretty much the same thing. He took an old movie and redubbed the whole thing. Although Kung Pao one-upped that by using the digital footage and was able to seamlessly insert new actors into the old footage. The movie's released on DVD and it's still in print, so it's like $15. It's not available for streaming, but you can rent it video on demand. You can't stream Kung Pao, but you can watch the original untampered film on Tubi under its alternate title, Savage Killers. Sugar and Spice. Sugar and Spice is a 2001 comedy from director Francine McDougall. The movie's about a high school cheerleader who falls in love with her dream guy, only to get pregnant and kicked out of her house. Now completely broke, she convinces her cheer squad to help her do a series of heists in order to get enough money to start her new family. The movie was originally written to be a black comedy called Sugar and Spice and Semi-Automatics. It was based on a series of robberies in Texas from 1999, where 4 teenage girls robbed 4 grocery stores and a bakery. The script was written shortly after that, but due to the Columbine High School massacre, the studio dropped the reference to guns in the title and watered down the script. So now with it rewritten, it comes off more campy and silly than black comedy.
That's an illegal dismount.
The writer was upset with this and had her name removed from the film, choosing to have it listed under a pseudonym, Mandy Nelson. With the watered-down script and the lackluster ad campaign, the film underperformed at the box office. It opened in 5th place and made $16 million worldwide against an $11 million budget. The film had a genuinely good cast with a bunch of up-and-coming names from the time. Mena Suvari, Marla Sokoloff, Marley Shelton, Melissa George, Rachel Blanchard, and James Marsden. Even though the film was changed from the original idea, I still enjoy it for what it is. The cast seems like they're having fun, which makes the whole thing a breeze to watch. Even though it was toned down, it does still have a little bit of the darker elements in there, and comes off as a more cynical version of Bring It On. The movie's currently streaming on something called Hoopla. It's also on video on demand and DVD. Full Eclipse. Full Eclipse is a 1993 sci-fi action film from director Anthony Hickox. I love the idea behind this one. In the future, crime is getting out of control. So the LAPD use a serum to create a special squad of invincible super cops who tackle the absolute toughest jobs. The squad is kept fairly hush-hush from the rest of the department, and so no one knows how these guys continue to operate on such a high level. The secret is, the cops are really werewolves. They go on huge raids and take out dozens of bad guys, all while getting shot up and brushing it off like nothing happened. The story's told from the perspective of a new cop, Max Dyer, played by Mario Van Peebles. He joins the group and becomes a werewolf, but is immediately stunned by the callous lack of following the law that the squad does. They don't go in to try to stop these criminals. They go in and take pleasure in murdering them all. Full Eclipse plays out like an evil version of the X-Men, where there isn't any other mutants that can stand against them, so they have to be brought down from within their own ranks. Bruce Payne plays the leader of the pack, Adam, and he is, as always, terrific. The movie also stars Patsy Kensit as the sexy werewolf. The movie was made for HBO, and while it was a direct-to-cable feature, it had a solid budget and it looked great. I wonder if Wolf Cop took their idea from this. The movie was directed by Anthony Hickox, who did Waxwork 1 and 2, Hellraiser 3, and Warlock the Armageddon. This is a movie that I enjoy, but I think a remake could take the idea even further. The movie is not available for streaming, which is such a bummer since HBO owns it. They could very easily put this on Max. The movie's on DVD and it's still in print. The movie is also on YouTube. And that's another 5 movies that deserve more attention, and a Blu-ray release would certainly help that. With so many boutique Blu-ray companies out there now, more and more of these films are being restored and given a second life. I'm a huge supporter of film restoration, and I believe the vast majority of movies over the years deserve to be preserved. Each one, even the cheesy ones, are a piece of history. Go watch these if you can. They are all good in their own ways. And maybe enough interest will get generated and they will get a restoration. Have a good week, everybody. I'll see you soon.